So for next 4 months, I didn't close anything, 0 deals, and I was running out of money, and I was sitting on a bench crying because I didn't have money to pay for my next month's rent. 3 years down the line, as you know, I was able to close 250 million dirhams, but that was only possible because I was always open to learning, testing, tweaking, and always taking messy action, not waiting for the perfect moment. What I learned over my journey is that we need a system of pipeline that is self-fulfilling. It's always bringing you leads. The one is the evergreen content because it's always going to be there on the internet to generate leads, right? How do you stand out in the market? Why should they remember you and not someone else? In many cases in real estate, their first message would be their entire story. They can tell you everything. Many times we don't need that 5 yeses because it's a yes in the first go.
Jasmine, you're an ex-Dubai real estate agent who's closed 250 million, or 62 million USD in 3 years. But you transitioned into becoming a real estate coach. So what is the mechanism that allowed you to do this, and how do you teach it to your clients?
The reason why I started doing this is because agents were asking for my help as they knew my story. When I moved to Dubai 3 years ago, for 4 months, when I moved to Dubai 3 years ago, I actually closed my first deal in the first month. However, after that, I was a bit distracted by trying to sell every different area, every different place. So for next 4 months, I didn't close anything, 0 deals, and I was running out of money, and I was sitting on a bench, and I was crying because I didn't have money to pay for my next month's rent. That was the moment where I decided either I go back to India, which I didn't want to do, or I could figure it out. So I made a decision in that moment that I'm going to figure it out. And how I did it was basically, I said, okay, who has done it before? Who is a successful agent in Dubai? And then I saw, okay, who has done it? Who are the successful agents in Dubai? And the problem was there was a lot of gatekeeping in Dubai real estate. No one wanted to share their wisdom. No one wanted to share what worked for them. But I just observed them. I studied them. And I noticed everyone had one thing in common. So I've never seen a successful agent in Dubai who does not have a niche. Or at least they started with a niche. They started with an area or maybe, specific niche and off-plan because Dubai is full of off-plan projects. So then I spoke to my manager and I decided to work on a specific area, a community. And I started figuring out how to sell houses. And then 3 years down the line, as you know, I was able to close 250 million dirhams. But that was only possible because I was always open to learning, testing, tweaking, and always taking messy action, not waiting for the perfect moment. And when other agents started asking me for help, it made me realize that there's a huge gap in the industry. For example, if you want to be a surgeon, they teach you how to be a surgeon, right? But if you want to be a real estate agent in Dubai, no one actually teaches you how to do that. So that was the moment I decided that, okay, I'm going to evolve into coaching space. And now I help real estate agents in Dubai to build their 6 to 7 figure businesses. So yeah, that's my story.
Okay. So it sounds like you kind of started, you went to like very, very deep in the gutter. Like you're not entirely sure what's going on. Like shit's hitting the fan, that type of thing. And then you kind of created a system from from agents that are ahead of you or have that system. What is that exact system? Like walk me through, how do we find people? How do we contact them? How do we nurture them to work with us? And then not necessarily how do we service them, but how do we get them to that? I know in America it's called a listing agreement or a buyer's agreement. How do we get them to that point?
So there is this old pipeline method that is used in Dubai. That method is, okay, pick up the call, make 100 calls, every single day to owners, which is, by the way, illegal in Dubai. You cannot really make cold calls. And we buy the illegal data of owners. And then we make 100 calls every single day for, okay, you can do it for maybe day 1, day 2, till day 7. But what happens after? You start going for viewings. You start answering to buyers and creating PDFs for your clients. And you're stuck in all the business. Maybe it's not so productive, but now you're very busy. So you are not making those 100 calls every single day. And let's say at end of day 30, when you finally are close to closing a deal, it might happen or it might not happen, right? There's always a possibility. But now on day 30, your pipeline is empty because you didn't make the calls every day after that. So what I learned over my journey is that we need a system of pipeline that basically is self-filling. It's always bringing you leads. So it's definitely, one is the evergreen content, because it's always going to be there on the internet generating you leads, right? And then second strategy is basically your lead nurturing, providing value to owners. So in Dubai, WhatsApp is really, really common. So what we do is we provide value over WhatsApp. So we are not sending generic messages like, oh, do you want to sell or rent your house? So we're actually providing value, sharing information, what's happening in the community, or maybe a road is expanding next to your community. How is that affecting your community prices? And all sort of stuff. The way it works is only when you're niched down and you have a farm, you have a particular area that you cater to. Where most agents go wrong in the industry is they think we need to speak to more new people every time. Yes, you want to do that, you need to do that. But most important is to speak with more people that you've already spoken to before. So you continue to nurture them. And when you focus on a community, your geo-farm, you put the seed, you water it every day, and then eventually you're gonna enjoy the fruits, right?
I think it's like, it's the one thing that I see a lot is agents who come in, get a ton of leads, sell people, kind of like you're saying with cold calls, and then their pipeline just dries up. Like either it was just family or referrals or something like that, and then it dries up. But you do need something where, like you said, you plant the seed. And the other thing that I want to note on here is nurture people that you already talked to or you potentially already closed. And so when I initially created the framework that we use for everyone, the CANS framework, the Catch, Amplify, Nurture, it was just CAN. And then we had an S for service. Because if you provide unbelievable service and amazing things even on the back end, they will forever follow you. A great example of this, Amy Stockberger, she's in North Dakota. Her entire business is referrals. She started, she made deals. But how she does that is after you work with her, you get a bunch of free perks. You get a margarita machine for parties. You get a food truck if you need it. Of course, like you have to staff it and whatever. But these things now for life follow you. And they're all Amy Stockberger branded. So when you host a party, there's an Amy Stockberger food truck. Well, of course you're going to go to her. So it's like that last little bit of converting people into like die hard you know? Like they will forever go for Jasmine as the realtor. How are you doing that? Like walk me through your process.
Yeah, it's the little details that matters. Like how do you stand out in the market? Why should they remember you when they think of the community and not someone else? So because Mindshare is market share. So how I do that is basically so for example, in my community that I used to work in, all of the cafes there are, I knew the staff by their name and they knew me by my name. So after the viewing, when we are going to the restaurant or the cafe and the staff calls you by your name, and then clients can see that you're actually well known in this community, right? And then it's about building the local network. Plus, as you said, it's also about the client experience. Like, what happens after they buy the house? Are you still following up with them? Maybe you're sending a birthday card, a birthday cake, and like when they move into the house, you're sending them, a homecoming kit. Home welcoming.
Yeah,
What do you
welcome
call
gift.
it?
Yeah, or welcome basket.
Yeah, the welcome basket. So these are the little things we do for our clients so that we are on top of their head. Plus, content is a huge thing in this because content follows up for you without you even manually doing it.
Yep.
And when the content is also niched down on the area, it really helps. Because I only have 4,000 followers on my Instagram account, but the account is called Miss Tilal Al Gulf. So Tilal Gulf is the area that I specialize in. And I'm always talking about the area. I'm always in the community. I'm recording videos, posting stories. And all of that is basically nurturing the previous clients and the new clients.
Yes.
And then how do you teach the algorithm that who is your target audience? So what I used to do was I used to send Instagram link on WhatsApp to my current clients.
Okay.
So now Instagram knows this is my target audience and it's bringing in more such people.
Smart. Okay. On the content piece, what are you sending to people via WhatsApp? Like specifically, because I'm assuming you have different types of reels that you create. Educational, this is what we're seeing in the market, this is where house prices are moving. And I'm assuming you have like, this is a new bakery or whatever in the community as well. What type of content are you actually sending to clients via WhatsApp?
So mainly there are two contents, right? One is education, second is entertainment, and then you do edutainment.
Okay.
Right? So basically I'm updating about the market, what are the expected prices, what's going to happen, and then second one is updates of the community. When is the handover happening? Maybe there's a handover delay, or maybe there's a new cafe, maybe there's a new school coming up nearby. So it's a mix of both. Plus, I think what works best is the stories. In story, you can add polls and you can ask people. For example, I put this story on Instagram that so this cluster had two options. Either you could choose open kitchen or closed kitchen. Now, culturally, Indian families, they prefer closed kitchen because, the food. And then European families, they actually prefer open kitchen. So then I posted on my story with two different pictures. One was closed and open kitchen. And then I asked, what do you prefer for your family? And then whoever clicked on the story ball, whoever engaged. Yeah. So whoever engaged with the story ball, then I message them, I DM them personally, and then I have a conversation with them. Because it's all about having conversation with the right people.
Yeah. 100% agree. It's like a ManyChat automation. I think a lot of realtors in the US are very familiar with ManyChat and those types of automations on Instagram. But it's just easier because it's more native to the platform. Like DMing someone a message seems like there's friction there, but clicking a button, there's no friction there. And the other thing is you learn more about the person. Or if someone just DMs you system, you can look at their profile and be like, who is this? Like, what do I know? But if they're like, oh, I like open, I like a closed kitchen. And you're like, what do you love about like open kitchens and stuffs? I think that's a really smart way to go about it. It sounds like you have two types of content, the educational, and I guess like fun. we'll put it.
Yeah.
How do you convert people from the content and in your stories? So once they engaged, how do you convert them to WhatsApp or deplatform them is the word I'm looking for.
So what happens is, anyone who is watching your content, there's this triangle. 97% of people are not ready to buy or sell right now, right? But the 3% are ready. And out of 3%, only 0.1% are actually going to reach out to you personally, right? So how do we engage with the rest of 2.9% people who are ready to buy or sell now? Is basically we look for cues. Did they show an intent? Like maybe they liked the post about the market update. Maybe they liked the post about things you should not do when you're buying on mortgage. It could be a potential buyer, right? Or simply they just followed me right now. So the moment they follow me, they get a DM from me, right? And the moment they like a post, then within 7 hours, I'm going to message them. So the intent of messaging them is basically to have a conversation and understand where they're at and if they need help. So the thing is, we are not trying to convince anyone to do anything, to buy or sell, but we are just understanding what is their plan, what is their intent, and if they need help, then I'm here.
Yeah, I never see the Matt influence, 93% and 3%. But yeah, I think that's 100%. Like, especially in real estate, you can't be pushy because everyone's like, it's B2B. No, it's B2C every single time. There's high emotions. People are unsure. They can be flaky. And so how I like to look at it is, especially in sales, is you never try to convince anyone of anything. You try to lead them to the best conclusion for them. So a good example, like, why are you looking to buy or sell? Okay, learn from that. Why is that important to you? And you keep going down until you go, okay, so this is the root of your problem. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't the right time to buy. And the other thing is, if you're like, I'm going to be honest, like, I don't think this is the best time for you to buy or sell because it doesn't sound like it'll fit you. If you say that, I promise you, when it is a good time, they will come back because you will forever be the realtor that told them no.
Yeah.
People hate getting told no, and they'll sit there and go, he told me no, but I think it was in my best interest. It's just sales. So yeah, it's like not pushy.
Yeah.
I know Matt says as well, Matt Likovich, by the way, for people watching, typically the first 5 DMs are just to get people to engage with you. Do you see that to be the case in real estate? And if so, how do you operationalize that?
So what you're asking is, how do we nurture them in the first 5 DMs?
Yeah, so Matt, I know he was explaining this to me at least yesterday, of the first 5 DMs are just yes or no to give value. Because once someone replies for 5 times, they're going to reply to you at some point. Like, there's not friction there. Do you think it's the case in real estate because it's a lot more B2C and there's a lot less friction? Or do you think that's not the case?
I think Will said this, that most of the times businesses are P2P, people to people. And it's especially true in real estate because people are putting maybe entire life of savings into buying their home.
Yep.
And it's a very emotional decision. So if they're already watching your content on Instagram, they already associate you with the community and they kind of know you, or they think they kind of know you. So even in the first message, if the message is very relevant and personalized specifically for them, in many cases in real estate, their first message would be their entire story. They're going to tell you everything. Okay, this is what I was thinking, this is what I was planning. And so many times we don't need that 5 yeses because it's a yes in the first go. But it also depends on the person who is messaging and where they are.
Mm-hmm.
But this has been the case for most of the end users who I have interacted with on my Instagram.
Would you agree as well that it's also the trust that's built on your Instagram profile?
Absolutely.
Because like if you don't have a profile picture, I'm not gonna like drop my entire life story to you, you know? Like you could just be like Phil from like I don't even know. Like it's just you need to have that trust as well. I feel like your Instagram, when I was looking at it, seems to do a really good job of that. Both Instagrams. What specifically are you doing to build that trust?
So Matt, my coach, I'm gonna keep quoting him. So he says, how do you build trust? So trust is basically component of two different things. One is how much value did you provide to them, and then how much time did they spend with you, even if it's online, right? Even if it's them watching your videos. So because I consistently am providing value through my content on Instagram, and then people are sometimes binge watching it. So it's always like bingers are buyers. They're binging it because they have an intent to buy, right? So by consistently providing value through the content and doing it for long enough is what builds trust. I think it's as simple as that. Unless there are some agents in the market who are just dancing on the reels. That is definitely not building the trust.
Yeah. Actually, funny you say that as well. So I have a client who does YouTube super heavily. And she was like, how do I make these YouTube videos as educational as possible? And how do I know that people want to actually know? Like, actually want to learn this? And this is a super common thing in SEO specifically. Because it's like, well, first off, people need to be searching it to make it useful. And so our way of doing this is, do you know Google Keywords Planner?
No.
Okay. Greatest hack for Instagram ever. Create a Google Ads account. You don't need to run ads or anything. You have this thing called Google Keyword Planner, and it'll tell you exactly what people are searching for. So you have 10 topics, 10 things that you could search. So like, what was your area again?
Tilal al-Gaf?
Delalagov?
Yeah.
Okay. We're just going to say D. D coffee shops or something like that, even if it's as simple as that. If you put that in, it'll tell you exactly what people are searching for around that.
Awesome.
And so it'll give you content ideas. And that's just a stupid, simple SEO hack that I've learned. And is probably super useful for just real estate agents in general when it comes to content. What are your top performing pieces of content?
So I posted this video that one of my clients, he has an AI company, and he generated a report of the the price prediction of a particular cluster in the community. And then I posted about that report.
Okay.
And I said that even though according to his report, it says that prices are expected to go up to 7.7 million. But in my conservative, projection, it is definitely going to be 7 million plus. Funny enough, now those houses are 8 million plus. And I got 69,000 views on that video. And I got 5 buyer leads direct. And then I also reached out to people. And I closed 1 deal of that video.
Sweet. That's the perfect video. It's everything you need. I feel like that's also one of those where you were probably sending it in WhatsApp as well, correct?
Sorry?
You were also sending it to people in WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sending it to all the owners in that cluster.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Do you do reports? Like, home price reports for previous clients. Do you send those a lot?
For previous clients? No.
Okay. This is something that I learned a lot of agents doing. I don't know if it's common in Dubai, but in the US, it'll set up an auto report. So it'll grab like the Zestimate or whatever the estimated home price is. And every year or quarter, it'll send it to them and their financial advisor. So it's just two things. There's the nurture on the back end for service, right? So now they're stuck. And two, it just opens a conversation with them every year.
Right.
Like, there's nothing more valuable than that.
Right.
What, if you have content that you're sending to people with this, what's another good example of sending via WhatsApp?
So generally in Dubai, emails are not as common as WhatsApp. So what I do is usually whenever there's another transaction of a similar house which I sold before, then I'm just going to send my previous client the screenshot of DXP Interact. So there is a website called DXP Interact where you can check the transactions. So I just take a screenshot and send it to my clients, and that does the same thing. Opens up the conversation. And so your question is what other things I send on WhatsApp, right? So because there are a lot of under construction houses in Dubai, especially in the community I was working in, this piece of content on WhatsApp really worked well when I used to download the report of construction. So there is this website, this application called Dubai Rest. So you can download the project status from it. So I used to download that, plus take my own videos of the construction happening. And then I combine both and send it on WhatsApp to the clients.
Okay, that makes sense. So you have a couple of content. So I think we'll kind of like walk back through the system. Top of funnel is you basically find people with Instagram. They potentially DM you, message you, or click on something in the stories. You DM them, open a conversation, and then potentially move them into WhatsApp as needed. Is that correct?
For buyers, yes.
Buyers.
But for sellers, no.
Okay. How does sellers work?
For sellers, we are starting with the WhatsApp.
Okay.
So we are providing value consistently. So we are not annoying them, spamming them. But we are sending informative information. Informative information.
Informative.
And then eventually when they're ready to have that conversation, and then we are not saying, okay, give me the listing. We are saying, let's have a coffee. So we are selling the next step. And then we meet them. Once we are in the meeting, we still don't ask for the listing. We just give them 3 different strategies, and then they can choose from it. Because now they're not thinking about, oh, should I give listing to Jasmine or not? They're thinking about, okay, which strategy works for me the best. So we're shifting the focus.
It's the illusion of choice.
And then, so what happens in Dubai, basically the contracts, you sign a contract A with the seller, and then you sign a contract B with the buyer, and then you combine both of them on the system. Everything happens online. And you combine them and you create the final Form F or MOU. And that's the final contract. Once it is signed, then you do the processes, mortgage, etc. And then you wait for the NOC from the developer. Once you have the NOC, you go to trustee office. And in trustee office, immediately in 1 to 2 hours, the property is transferred.
That's so smooth. The US, it's so we have this thing called the multiple listing service, and it's like just the aggregate of all of the houses for sale. They literally have a section on there called under contract, where it either means contract is about to be signed, or they're like someone agreed to it and then they're working towards it. And it'll last weeks of just like sitting there like, when are these papers gonna be signed? Dubai sounds so smooth with that. Like, okay, back to the kind of whole funnel thing. So for sellers, you start at the back almost. You start with WhatsApp. Okay. So are most of your leads coming from previous buyer leads, for listings? Or are they coming a different way?
For the listings?
Yeah.
The listings is basically the data that we have. We already have data of owners, right?
Yeah. I'm saying, how do you find them? Other than, or how do you engage with them?
How do we engage with who?
Sellers. So for buyers, it's, from what it sounds like, they come in through Instagram,
So
work
you're
through
saying,
WhatsApp.
how do I get the data?
Yeah. How do you get the data? And then how do you start the conversation in WhatsApp?
So the data comes illegally.
Okay, fair enough. Touche. Yeah.
So basically we buy the data, or
Mhm.
our companies, the agency that we are working for, they buy the data of
Okay.
owners in a particular community.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start sending them WhatsApp messages.
Okay.
And usually agents will send, are you looking to rent or sell your house?
Okay.
And annoy them. But that's not what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We are sending them information. And then we are continuing to do that for every week,
Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
then having conversations. The thing is, what happens, think of it like a big tank of conversations.
Yeah.
We want more water to come into the tank,
Yep.
but we also want the water to exit the tank. Reason being, tank has a capacity, right?
Mhm.
Which is our time. So we can only have finite conversations with people.
Yep.
So we want to fill this tank with more conversations, but we also want to empty it. So how do we do that? We continue to provide value. And once we are having conversation, we filter people. Okay, this person, he's not gonna sell immediately, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna continue to update him. But what's the priority? I'm not gonna send him message. Sorry, I'm not gonna send him message every week. And then there are other sellers who their timeline is 30 days to maybe 90 days.
Yeah.
Then I need to meet them. Then that's another filter.
Mm.
And then people who already sold the house, I'm still gonna
Follow
up because these are the people who have already invested the money,
Mhm.
and they probably now have cash to reinvest it.
Mhm.
Or if they don't have cash to reinvest it, they already believe in Dubai. They've seen the profits. They've seen the capital appreciation.
Mm.
At some point, they're going to reinvest. So they go to the investor list, and there's a different nurture strategy.
Okay. Interesting. That makes sense. I think one of the things that I see a lot of US agents is they hire, they call them ISAs or inside sales agents to just do that for them.
Okay.
Because it's a very tedious task. I feel like it's like, okay, I have to message them, I have to message them, I have to message them. And I feel like that would be super draining.
Unless it's automated.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask. Like, what would you do for automations?
So I was using Rocket Sender.
Okay.
So once you build the trust, and then after a while, you have a list, you have a Google Sheet, right? Now using that Google Sheet, you just put it into Rocket Sender, and every week you're automating the message.
You're good to go. Okay.
And it's personalized because you can change the name.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to receive Hi Tom, even though I'm not manually doing that.
Yep. That's one thing that I see now is they're using AI to personalize it as well. So you can scrape like their Instagram profile, their LinkedIn profile or whatever, get information about them, and then personalize it based on that, which is super interesting. I see that a lot as well.
Which tools are they using?
I think ManyChat and then ChatGPT with Zapier. It's a little bit difficult. Or the other one is, do you know what a Loom video is?
Yeah.
SendSpark does that for Loom videos as well, which is super interesting. So I see that a lot with agents in the US specifically. Okay. So I think we kind of have the full funnel, like a picture here. On top end, I want to ask as well on Instagram, are you boosting Instagram posts?
So not regularly.
Okay.
I tried that in the beginning.
Mm.
But then I didn't really see a difference because what happens is I'm already teaching the algorithm to bring in the right people
Yes.
organically. So when I'm boosting it, sometimes it doesn't reach
The right
the
people.
right people.
Mhm.
So then I didn't find it very effective for me.
I think from what I see on Instagram as well, there's an agent in the town that I went to college in. His name is Cade Covey. And his entire business was he would take the listings that he had and he would boost those because it would find a seller faster. So it would sell faster and he could be like, I sold a house faster than every agent in the market. And that's his entire shtick. And two, it'd find buyer leads. Because now all the people that didn't have an agent now want to work with you. So it's like a double-edged sword, if you will. It seems to work. Are you doing anything other than Instagram? Or just Instagram?
So when I have a listing,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a contract listing or even without contract listing, we call them pocket listings in Dubai. I don't know
Yep,
if
it's the same
that's
term.
there. Right. So there is a hot opportunity right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to take fast action.
Mm-hmm.
In that moment, I'm not only using Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna utilize all the resources I have and market it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna let the world know that I have this listing, this hot opportunity. How do I do that? I go on WhatsApp groups, share it with agents, share it with my previous investors, share it with the owners in the community because they might be looking to upgrade. They might know someone who is looking to upgrade, or they might know someone who wants to, maybe a family or relative or friend who wants to move into the community. And I would go to Facebook groups.
Okay.
And I would go on LinkedIn and speak to gatekeepers. Gatekeepers as in your mortgage people, your landscaping people, your interior fit outs, because all these people, these gatekeepers, have access to the clients that sometimes we don't have. So it's about taking fast action when it's really needed.
Yep.
Otherwise, all the work that we're doing is waste.
Yeah. 100%. So if you're almost fully organic, did that slow you at times, or do you feel that you had the right pace with it?
I always had leads coming to me.
Okay. That
Not
makes
in the
sense.
beginning, because in the beginning, obviously, I was creating that garden. But by the time I had created that garden, I was already receiving so many leads that I had to keep a VA. Not a VA, sorry, EA, executive assistant. So I had an executive assistant. She was in Philippines.
Yeah.
And then she was managing my automation stuff. And, if I need some contract done, PDF done, all of the admin tasks that I didn't have time for, I was just meeting people, talking to people. Rest of everything she was handling.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
that makes life a lot easier, especially when you have that assistant. Okay. Okay. I think we have the full marketing suite, if you will, for what you were doing as an agent. What are you doing as a coach now on the other side?
So we have this free WhatsApp community for agents where they can ask questions, and then I reply to them whenever I get the chance. And I'm sending free training videos there as well. And I'm posting at least once or twice a day, every day on LinkedIn.
Oof. That's a lot of content.
Yeah. And I think I'm really passionate. I'm really passionate about helping other real estate agents. And what used to drive me before was I never wanted to feel that poor and that loser again who was sitting on that bench and crying.
Yeah.
That used to drive me to do more, to close more deals. And what drives me now is completely different, because now I don't want other agents to feel that, and I want to really help them. So, yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a really good story as well. Just hammer that in content. I feel like people would definitely buy in and be like, I've been there. I don't want to be there. How do we get out of this?
Yeah.
I think that's a really, really good one. to hammer in, what is your philosophy with content now as a coach? How has that changed from being a real estate agent?
So when I was an agent, LinkedIn was not the biggest platform for me in terms of content, because how do I attract people who are looking to buy in my community on LinkedIn? There are no filters for that. But there are filters for, okay, how can I find real estate agents, right? So now I'm posting more content on LinkedIn. But as a real estate agent, I feel that it's much better to post content on Instagram, because in Instagram, people actually type the community name when they're looking to buy a house there. And if they see you on top, they're going to speak to you. Or at least they're going to engage with your post, right? Plus, if they search on Property Finder, which is the portal to search properties, or Bayouth, now our phones have all the data, right? If they search about a particular community on Property Finder or Bayouth, the phone data is eventually going to show something about that community on Instagram. Maybe this happened with you, like this happens with everyone all the time. Maybe you were looking for some shoes online, and then on Instagram you see the same thing. So that doesn't happen with LinkedIn, I guess.
That's true. Yeah, LinkedIn's a lot more 2012 Facebook. It's not as like, it doesn't know you as well. It's actually funny you say that. That's one of the things that we use in the CANS framework. That's what the Amplify section is. It's literally, did they search this? Now they can't leave. It's the entire point of it. So one thing that we do a lot is we do retargeting ads for that purpose. So if you're a brokerage, you can't like, it's hard to scale organic content when you're servicing 100 agents, right? But ads, that'll do it. So you can do that to an extent on Google and like Instagram, Facebook, that type of thing with ads. But yeah, as a coach as well, I also feel like you don't need to do that, because like, how many people do you really need? Maybe like 4 or 5 a month. And you're probably going to be at the same amount as an agent, and you're going to hit capacity at 4 or 5 a month. Especially if you're doing one-to-ones, you know?
Yeah. I already have 6 people, and I think I can do 10 a month.
Yeah.
But at some point, I will have to go into group coaching.
Yep. Like, even as agency side, we struggle at around 12 clients. That's where we really hit a wall, and it's like, there's just so much work, right? So it's being cognizant of that as well, which I think is different than in traditional real estate.
Yeah.
Because you can almost always take on a new listing because you put it up. Once they work with you, yes, there's a bunch of work that goes on in it, but it's like set it up, the systems are so dialed in, it's just go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like your assistant can do a lot of it.
Yeah. I think if I had met you when I was doing real estate, I would have definitely added ads on my Instagram. The thing is, I just didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find the right people to do it. I even paid one agency to run ads for me, and I paid them $11,000 for 3 months.
Okay.
But it didn't give me.
Yeah.
It gave me 1 lead.
How?
It gave me 1 lead.
I feel like for you, especially with organic content, ads would be so easy because all you have to do is run a retargeting ad on Instagram. Literally, if I were you, I would take your top performing post, retarget boost it. That's it. Like, for me, I get leads for as low as $7 a pop that are qualified, because all we do is we lean into the retargeting because they already know you. You don't have to build trust.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of ad agencies, in that instance, overcomplicate it. They're like, we need to do this and this and this and this and this. And we're like, or we could just run a meme and retarget the people that you're already talking to. Like, there's just it's a very different side to run.
Yeah, lot of the time we just complicate our businesses, but the simpler it is, the better it works.
Yes. That's one of the things that I love is the agents that do the least oftentimes do the best. Like some agents, they'll have a VA and they're just like, please fix. And you're like, what are they fixing? They're like, they'll figure it out. It's like this simple things scale the best. But yeah, it's 100% true.
Yeah. You know, the biggest problem I see with agents that I coach, or like a bottleneck, is limiting beliefs. And they're stuck to their old self. So if I go back in time and see how did I get here, unknowingly, I started with a new identity for myself. Now, what do I mean by that? Is I gave myself a name, Mr. Lalgov, on Instagram, right? And then I was taking actions towards that name. I was not actually Mr. Lalgov by that time. But then I started taking action that proved my mind that, okay, I am Mr. Lalgov because I'm going to the community every day. I'm sending messages every day. I'm helping people every day. And then eventually people started seeing me as Mr. Lalgov. Sometimes clients didn't know my name is Jasmine, but they knew me as Mr. Lalgov. So it's all about shifting your identity and taking small, tiny actions to give your mind that proof. I think that's how you can simply overcome limiting beliefs. For example, if I tell myself, okay, I'm an artist, my mind's going to be like, no, you're not. But if I start painting now and I continue doing it for 90 days, my mind's going to be like, yeah, I am an artist.
Who was it? Someone at the mastermind said to me, you don't become trustworthy by telling yourself that you're trustworthy. You become trustworthy by doing the things that you say you're going to do for yourself. And so, good example. If I say, I'm going to hit the gym today, I have to hit the gym or I'm not going to feel trustworthy to myself. It's exactly that. Like, don't start with the saying, I am this. Start with the doing the things that that person would do.
Yeah. It's like asking yourself question, if I am, that future version of me, what would that future version of me do right now? What decision that future version of me would take in this moment? Yeah.
It's like, have you heard of the rocking chair test?
No.
Okay.
What's that?
So the rocking chair test is the ideal person that you want to be when you're 90 sitting on a porch in a rocking chair. What would that person do? Just do it. That's it.
Awesome.
It's that simple. I think, and again, it's the simple things work. What is that frame? Okay. What would I do now? That's it. And limiting beliefs are just like, I can't do this. Well, why can't you? I don't know. So why don't you start? I don't know. It's always the response. Are you doing something in coaching to get past that limiting belief?
To help them pass the limiting belief? So we go through the worksheet. Basically, they answer to themselves that, okay, what is my North Star? What is my goal? If my goal is to make $1 million dirhams this year, who do I need to become in order to achieve that? Right? What's my new identity? What does my future version of me look like? And then what would that person do? And then we list down the actions.
Yep.
And sometimes what they would do is they would look they would list the action that I'm going to send 100 messages every day. But you have to also keep it simple so that you're able to do it every day. So instead of doing that, I would put it just, I'm going to send 5 messages every day.
Mm-hmm.
Something that is simple, because complexity kills consistency.
Mm-hmm. It's also the ramping up that I think you hinted on. Like start at 5 and build. Like we install ISAs into brokerages. And the first thing we do is we say, your job is not to hit KPI today. Your job is to do 5% and then 10% and 15 and 20 and scale it over the course of a month. And by the time I think it's like, it's just a second habit. It's like, there's no other way to put it. Like you have to scale it up, because if you start at like 100 DMs, like if you tell me to do 100 DMs today, it's paralysis analysis.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking about it, it's like, but if you're like, send 5 DMs, just send them. That's it. Can you do that? Okay, do 10. Just keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
It's ramping up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't have any more questions for you today. Do you have anything you want to say in terms of final thoughts?
I think I would say that many times when introverts join this industry, they don't believe in themselves. And I was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I was unsure if I can do it, because I would see all these charismatic people who are extroverts, and they're, so outgoing. They're always upfront, talking to people like endlessly. And I had self-doubts that, how can I stand out when there are such people in the market? But then I realized it's actually my strength, because then I listen to people and I really hear their needs.
Mm-hmm.
I talk less than my clients, right? So I used it as my superpower, and I started seeing myself differently.
Mm-hmm.
So if any introvert is watching it, if a shy introvert girl from India can do it, anyone can do it.
Yes. Have you read the book Quiet?
No.
Read that. It's exactly that. But yeah, that's exactly right. It's your superpower. Just listening.
Yeah.
All right. Where do you want to send people?
As in my Instagram?
Yes.
My LinkedIn? Yeah, definitely LinkedIn.
Okay. What is it? Plug it on the podcast real quick.
Sorry?
Plug it.
What do you mean plug in?
What is your Instagram handle?
My LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn is Jasmine Arora, Dubai Realty Coach.
Perfect. All right.
Is it Realty?
We'll link it in the description as well. That works. All right. Pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.